and welcome to this edition of Your City in Action. I'm your host, Marnie Ryan. Today on the program, I have the wonderful opportunity of sharing with you Miss Chris Slabowski, and she's going to share with us about the Household of Hazardous Waste and their upcoming event on May 2nd.
Correct.
How are you, Miss Chris?
I'm doing fine, thank you. And you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm recovering from a little sickness, little spring, whatever, but that's how it goes, right?
That is.
'Tis the season. Allergies or whatever.
Yeah, it is.
But tell me, every time you come on the program, I'm always impressed, and I know I'm a complete repeater with impressed and amazed and awesome, but truly, you guys in your department do so many awesome things for our community, and I don't think the community really fully always gets all the capacities of how they can fully utilize your organization. So tell us everything.
Oh,
no
well,
pressure.
No pressure. Where do I start? Well,
as I
the
drop my
Household
pen,
Hazardous
yikes.
Waste Facility is what you're speaking of to begin with, and that is a facility that's open year-round. We're open on Thursdays, or we can do by appointment. That's taking in a lot of household products that are no longer used, leftovers basically, that are flammable, toxic, or corrosive. And it gives us a place to bring those. We can either put them back out for reuse in our reuse room. That gets a lot of use during the year. Or they can be disposed of safely. Keeps all that out of the landfill. Some things we'd rather not have going into there.
And when you say that, do you mean things like paint, like house paint, outside paint, forgive me, like motor oil?
You can run the gamut, yeah.
Hair dye? I mean, I say that as a girl that dyes her hair, maybe.
Possibly. Paints and motor oils, all those motor products, gasoline, oil, kerosene, a lot of pesticides, a lot of household cleaners have ingredients in them that if we looked at them industrial-wise, they'd be considered hazardous waste. But since they're in our little packages at home, we don't think of it that way, and they're not regulated that way. But they do have those ingredients in there, and we can take care of them for you.
And that means that it's really not good to dispose of them like, down the drain or in the toilet because it'll get in our water supply and just it's not a positive. Is that kind of what you're...
That's kind of what we're getting at.
Yeah.
A lot of those things to be handled that way. Our landfills are lined, so it's perfectly safe to do that, but there are better ways of disposing of it, and it is voluntary. It's not a required thing, but we do have a lot of people in town who like to make use of that, and they're recycling on a regular basis, and they're going through their home, finding these things that they'd rather handle through us than through the trash can. So they're being responsible.
Definitely. And exactly how long has your organization offered these kind of services for
that's
the
a good question.
community?
I always forget.
Figure.
Yes, throw that at me. 1993, I think is when we started. When they first started that, the little, and I don't know if they had the reuse at that time. I don't think that started right off the bat. But it's slowly grown with the items that we're offering and the people that use it. I think our reuse center has grown as far as usage-wise within the last 7 years that I've been there, because we're getting more people in there every year. I have complaints that there's, I have as much stuff in there. It's like, well, we got more people using it, so.
That's a good problem though, right?
It's a good problem.
It shows that people are concerned and care about our community, and yeah, what a great situation to be in,
Yeah.
And, what I think is great is how it's grown since the time that we've met, over the years through Access and so forth. It does seem to grow, and there's been different times where your services have changed. You've had a broader range or spectrum of services you provide, and as a response to the community needs and inquiries. So, I mean, definitely you guys are doing all the right things. So
we've had a few.
Pat on the back. That's
thank
good.
you. We've had a few things over the past years. We did add fluorescent bulbs. That's probably about 5-6 years ago.
That's a very good thing. I know. Whether in my parents' home, here at Access, I mean, what do you do with them?
Yeah.
I mean, really, you don't think of it till, wow, the light goes out, I got to replace it. What do I do with this bulb?
Well, they can throw them away. They can. But it is one of those things that does have mercury in it. And so that gives a lot of people pause. It's like, well, do I want to put that in there? We know what things mercury does anymore. The poisonings from mercury. There's a very small amount in bulbs, so I don't want to freak anyone out with that. But it's we do take it. We do get it recycled. They are 100% recycled on bulbs. So that is something we can do. Now, recently we have stopped accepting alkaline batteries for recycling.
How come? Can I ask?
Well, during the 1970s, and I don't remember, 75, 77, manufacturers of the alkaline batteries had to stop putting in mercury and cadmium. And at this point, we're 40-some years later, most anything that's going to be in circulation is going to have that in it. So they're not considered hazardous any longer. They are recyclable, but they're expensive to recycle. So we've kind of made the decision to stop recycling them. I'm just kind of letting people know as they bring them in. We're still taking rechargeable batteries. We're still taking lithium batteries. We're still taking all of the button cells. But the alkaline batteries you can throw away.
Now, I've always amazed, whenever I talk to you throughout the years, the amount of volume of items and objects and the diversity of objects that people bring in. I know last year, I actually brought in a rather archaic computer that it looked similar to the computers I used when I was in grade school. Like they would roll them in on the desk, and we would play Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego. Not that I'm old, just saying. A little experienced. But I was like, I could hang on to this, but why? It's just collecting dust, and so forth. But I do know that over the years, due to demand and so forth, and the community participation, that what you accept has just grown. And it always amazes me when you tell me, even if it's ballpark, just the average amount of items you guys have collected from the previous years. I'm just like, wow, where do people keep this stuff? Like what, what's up with that? I mean, what has surprised you, I guess, as far as the 7 years that you've been doing this, is there like one item or a few items that just surprises you that so many people have had and utilize in the e-waste program?
And the e-waste program is a separate deal. We don't take the computers and such on a regular basis. That's just once a year annually. It is surprising how many computers are out there. It's kind of like in the household hazardous waste version, why there's so much paint. An old paint that still keeps coming in. You'd think at some point it would go away. But we get a lot of paint. Where's all this
paint coming from?
Mount-wise, last year was the first year that we've contracted with last year we contracted with a new contractor, and we started taking in more items than ever before. So it wasn't just electronics. We were taking in appliances, household appliances, pretty much anything that has a cord or a battery. Wow. And so we doubled our highest intake from an electronic waste event last year. We went from I'm going to take a quick look at my note here.
Hey, Oprah does it. I think she does it weekend too, right?
We gathered almost 75,000 pounds last year at our one-day event. Oh my gosh! So it was a lot of that came in. A lot of that is because you're taking in appliances. We had some refrigerators and stoves and things like that. But it's just a lot of items can come in, and it comes in quick.
Oh, I bet.
We start getting calls after the last one's over for the next one. So. We're getting ready. Next one's coming up.
Wow. I know. And May 2nd?
May 2nd.
And where's the location, if you don't mind me asking?
Salina South High School, west parking lot. If anyone was there last year, it'll be the same location. And
can I add real quickly, not to interrupt? It's very convenient. I remember driving up thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to be in line for like 10 years, because, and I mean, there was a line. It was cool to see people utilizing the service because that's, the whole reason, the city of Salina does it is to help benefit the community. In and out. I mean, I don't even think I was there 10 minutes, truly. I mean, it was just very quick. Everybody was so kind. The volunteers and the city staff, so super nice, so super helpful. Because, I sometimes tend to be a little directionally challenged, even though the directions are extremely clear. Turn here. Sometimes, just out of I'm just used to being wrong, so I just always roll down my window and ask, hey, is this correct? And it's so nice. Everybody's so pleasant. And the weather was great last year, and we'll knock on wood that it's great this year. But I was so impressed at how quickly, in and out, boom, here's this old tower. It was probably, I don't even know how old it was. I mean, late 80s, early 90s, God only knows. But it was just so cool to just, here you go. And thank you for supporting, this event, City of Salina. Smiles, genuine smiles. It was great. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything more.
I think we'll try to have a good time while we're there. So.
I know a few of the city workers, and so they're very funny folks. So that's good. They crack good jokes. So they always make us smile. So that's good.
And that is a good thing to note there too. That people are ringing in or they're calling, say, hey, I can get it there, but I can't get it out of my truck, or I can't get it out of my. I'm having somebody load it. You don't have to.
Yeah.
Pop the trunk, bring in a trailer, whatever you have. We'll
in fact, I always felt guilty. They were so helpful. I was like, bless you. I mean, really, I can get it. But it was, they really wanted to help. I'm like, okay,
That's what we're there for.
I know, it was so
Let us
nice.
do it.
I mean, it was just the sweetest thing ever. So I was like, well, okay, hey, you know, Mama didn't raise no fool. You know, if you want to lift this for me, all right. So, but yeah, they were so helpful, so courteous, and so very kind. And it just was a great experience. Because, you know, we've talked about this a lot, and I always say every year, oh my gosh, we have so much stuff. And I remember this is going on. I have an old computer I need to get rid of, and I'm going to go to South. And in and out, it was real quick. It was just totally painless. And I mean, I knew it would be, but still, you know.
Now, you also tell me Access has a bunch of old stuff.
We do. I know. Aaron that works here at Access, we need to utilize e-waste. May 2nd, South High parking lot. It's 9 a.m. to 1
9 a.m.
p.m.
to 1. It's everybody. There's no restrictions on how much you can bring in or where you're from or business or resident. There are some things that we charge for, though.
What are those? I'm glad you mentioned that.
The old CRT monitors. Mm-hmm. That's
when you say CRT, okay.
Cathode ray tube. So the big, the computer monitors with the big back on them.
Oh, that kind of stick
right,
out.
The big heavy monitors.
Okay.
There's $5 a piece on those.
It's very reasonable.
Televisions, there are tube televisions. They're also CRT. They're the big old heavy televisions. Up to, now I'm going to cheat again here because I have that in front of me.
That's okay.
I want to give you the right information. So under 27, up to 27 inches are $15 a piece. Mm-hmm. Over 27 inches are $35 a piece, and any console television is also going to be $35 a piece. Also included that would be projection TVs, the big old projection televisions.
Okay.
Everything, flat screen TVs, if you have one of those you want to get rid of, there's no charge. Mm-hmm. Nothing else. There's no charge on anything else. A few items we don't take are going to be fluorescent bulbs, mm-hmm. this event. Of course, you can bring those to me on Thursdays.
Okay, exactly.
They don't want batteries, alkaline batteries. We are no longer doing that. Those are throwaway. Smoke detectors, PCB ballast, and thermometers. PCB ballast, a lot of people ask me about them. That's polychlor. I've lost it right now.
It's
PCB.
that big word. I
yes.
get you.
But the ballast from a light, if it has PCBs in it after 1970 something, we'll say no PCBs. Mm-hmm. So if it says no PCBs, you can put it in the trash. And they won't take them there.
Awesome.
I said that wrong. PCB ballast they won't take.
What she said the second time.
No PCBs at this one.
Okay, very good. Now, tell me this. This comes up once a year. Mm-hmm. Do you get excited about the event? What are your feelings about the event? Because you've been doing this a while. I've
been doing this a while. It's always a little hectic. I'm always a little anxious to see what the turnout's going to be. Mm-hmm. It's fun to do. I mean, it's fun to get the interest, because the interest is there. People start calling and asking about it. So yeah, it's nice to have that and make it available. So it's something we try to do without putting a lot of cost into it.
Yeah.
Every so often there's a struggle. This last year's was the first one with the R2 certified recycler, mm-hmm. which is nice. And we happened upon that because the ones before had moved further away and had to were going to charge us for transportation.
Yikes.
So we had to start looking into that. Well, we're still being charged some for transportation, but less.
Yeah, there you go.
So it's, plus on top of that, we got R2 recycling certified, which basically means they have a lot of responsibility, both themselves and downstream of their production. So almost everything's going to be recycled out of anything they take. It's not going to end up in a landfill somewhere. So some places will. You know, mm-hmm. Everything it may be fine what they're doing with it, but some places will have part of it in a landfill, or you see the stories on foreign shores and the piles of trash. But this is very, very responsible recycling on this part. Good.
That's awesome. You know, again, just because I like to, just in case somebody just happened to, mm-hmm. random click and there's Chris Lepowski.
Yes, I'm sure that happens.
Well, you're Salina famous. You can't deny it. But if you wouldn't mind, Ms. Chris, please share with us why you're here and reiterate the wonderful event and the details and how we can contact you in every single way possible.
Every way possible. Let's see. We're here for the electronic waste event. This year's is going to be coming up on Saturday, May the 2nd, from 9 to 1 at Salina South High School's West Parking Lot. It's a drive-in event. Come in and we'll unload everything for you, and you can be right on your way. If you have any questions on that event, you can contact me at the Household Hazardous Waste Facility. The number there is 826-6638. Also by email at hhw@salina.org. And you should be able to catch me one way or the other.
Yes.
There is going to be on our website, City of Salina website, if you click departments and then household hazardous waste, there are some details on there and a little more detailed listing of the items we can accept. But that falls down to pretty much anything with a cord or a battery. And if you're not sure, give me a call.
And in addition to all your wonderful resources, this will be on Access TV's website, our front page, and link to our YouTube channel as well. So we will have you covered, which is awesome. I know. So is there anything that you've seen in your years in the e-waste programs that has just kind of surprised you, like, never thought somebody'd bring that by? Have you ever had that?
We've had some very old video systems, game systems come in, like the old original Nintendos that you don't think about, but somebody still had that
like
in their
the gray
basement.
box? Or?
Yeah, the little thing had Pong,
Do you remember, I played, oh my gosh, Pitfall? I was horrible at it. I could never,
I don't remember
I could never hop on the crocodiles. I always fell. Got eaten.
I knew friends that had them, but we didn't have a Nintendo.
I didn't either. My neighbors did. And then they had the Smurf game. They had Coleco. Do you remember Coleco?
I don't remember Coleco either.
They had the Smurf game, and you had to dodge bats and Azrael and Gargamel, and I was horrible at that too. Marnie is not a gamer. I'm not.
I never got past Pong. So
well, and and like
enough.
Pac-Man and Donkey Kong,
yes,
they're frustrating. Like you get so far, and it's just like, wow. I just could never make it happen. So
yeah.
Anywho,
that was before. I was lucky not to be born later. Where you have to be good at it.
I had a really good friend that was a gamer, and he would always try to help me out. And I don't know that listening to gaming advice was my strongest skill set in the world. I don't know.
Have to concentrate.
And I wasn't really connected to it. So, But anywho, we're back to e-waste. I know, Marnie digresses. But again, there is a great opportunity. I'm here with Miss Chris Slabowski, and she's with the Household of Hazardous Waste, and she's here to tell us about the wonderful e-waste collection event, which is May 2nd, and it's at Salina High School, if I could talk. But is it the south or the east?
It's the west parking lot.
West. Miss Marnie is totally wrong. It is at Salina's west parking lot, and it's from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. and very friendly staff, city staff members, volunteers that just come. If you wouldn't mind, give us a rundown if you could. I know there's a lot of items you accept, but if you could just kind of give us a general what you do accept.
Okay.
Many good things.
Oh yeah. And it is hard to list anymore. We're going from TVs and VCRs, DVD players, cameras, telephones, telephone systems, copiers, office copiers, we could go with anywhere on that. And then we're also doing appliances, so small kitchen appliances, large kitchen appliances, stoves, refrigerators.
What about SVHS cameras that are really heavy and could
absolutely.
Take out your back or your shoulder?
Absolutely.
We have some on third floor that I think I think we need to visit you May 2nd.
Any of those items. And one other thing to note is if you do have an appliance you're wanting to get rid of, like a refrigerator, you don't have to have the Freon removed first.
Oh,
they are certified for that also,
cool.
and they're not charging for that. So bring it in as it is, and they'll take care of that.
How did you work that magic? That's great.
I don't know. I'm just amazing.
You are amazing. Yay! That's so good. That's wonderful. Really, was that a hard thing to make happen, or were they just pretty agreeable to it?
They're very agreeable. They're a very easy company to work with, and
wow.
it's been really nice. And some of the things that surprised me what they've done, their security as far as clearing data off of your hard drives and off of copiers, because business copiers have hard drives in them that can hold up 40,000 records or whatever.
Oh my gosh.
But it's very secure. They remove every hard drive. So if you have a hard drive in your laptop or your computer, it's out. And it is, if it's usable, they'll do a 7-time DoD, Department of Defense swipe on it.
Really?
They're only required to do 3.
But they'll do 7.
They'll do 7,
oh
and then they print over the whole thing with zeros and ones, so everything is copied. If there was anything left,
yeah.
If it's not usable, they take it out and they wipe it with an industrial magnet, and then it's shredded and then melted down in a smelter to become aluminum again.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's amazing. They also do a self-audit on those hard drives. Every so often they'll pull a few out based on how many they're going through, and they send it to a forensics lab in Missouri. They are from Missouri. And that forensics lab checks them. That forensic lab checks over to see if there's anything out there just to verify that everything's getting cleared.
Really?
So they've had 100% success so far on that, have had nothing found. And
wow, that's so cool.
Yeah.
How did you guys get connected with this company?
I wish I could remember. I don't know. You go through, you start looking for places.
Someone magic in the city
department?
Actually,
I think they contacted us.
Really?
And we're basically as far west as they were going. I don't know if they've gone anything further west yet or not, but they contacted us, and we already had some at the time. But when we started looking around to see if we needed to make some changes because our company moved off, we called them back, and they told us what they could do.
Awesome. That's so cool. Now tell me this, if you had to pick, and I'm sure you love this question, your most favorite event or aspect, how about aspect, of the e-waste event, what do you think that would be?
Oh, that's a tough one. You should have given me a heads up on that.
I know, and I didn't. I know. Shame on me. I'm so sorry. How about you go first and then I'll go?
Favorite aspect of the event?
Because you've been doing this a while.
I just think it's nice to be able to offer something new that people are looking for. And now it's not necessarily new anymore, but it's one of those things that we don't have it available all the time.
Yeah.
So and maybe there will be someday something available all the time, but until there is, it's just nice to at least have one time a year that they can come in and get rid of some of these items that they've been holding on to, and for some reason we don't throw those things away.
What's up with that?
I don't know.
We feel very connected to our electronics. You know, that coffee pot may not work for like 20 years, but by golly, we have it in our basement religiously. We're hanging on to that sucker. You know, why? I know, it's bizarre, isn't it?
It is.
Maybe we're like, genetically pack rats, and we're just not aware of it. I don't know.
That could be.
I'm not promoting that thought. I'm just saying, just putting it out there.
I know there's still some stereo equipment in our basement that probably won't go yet.
My mother just got rid of their,
turntable?
Yeah, thank you. I know. I was trying to think, what is that called? I know. Yes. I was raised on it, but yeah.
Well, how can you get rid of that? There's still records.
She did. Mom! Because, I grew up listening, she played Linda Ronstadt, Barry Manilow, the Beatles, Fleetwood Mac, And
she still has those.
Yes. Yeah. I still have a Barry Manilow record. I'm sure everyone is on the edge of their seat to know this. Marnie is that old, yay. You can't go wrong with
But you can't get new turntables. You can now.
I love my parents, and my mother loves to watch this show. So sorry, Mom, just telling you quite honestly. Fred Flintstone, Fred and Wilma, they need to come to reality and, come to technology. My parents, God bless them. But, they're living on the dark side, but that's okay. That's their choice,
That's right.
At some point, this has got to stop. So maybe, here's my task. How about this? My task is, why don't I bring them with me this year anyway so they can see how easy it is, and so next year.
And they can see some of the stuff that's being dropped off.
Yes. Because
it's always a lot of people will go through and it's like, oh, didn't think about something like that.
Exactly. Yes. So, I think that's going to be my little project this year is to get
bring Mom and Dad in.
Mom and Dad to come in. But again, if you just want one last time, just real quick recap, just kind of, the where and when, the particulars of the event. Okay. So that way, if somebody just happens to be that random flipper just tuning in, I just want to let you know that I'm Marnie Ryan. I'm here with Access TV. And more importantly, I'm here with Miss Chris Slabowski. She's talking to us about the e-waste event that's coming up May 2nd from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at South High. And I would tell you the direction of the parking lot, but the last time I told you that, it took me 3 guesses, and all 3 of mine were wrong. So
there was only one more direction. So
dun, dun, dun.
The City Salina's electronic waste collection event this year is going to be on the 2nd of May at the West parking lot at Salina South High School, entering off of Magnolia, and there may be a line, but it's going to be quickly. We'll get you through there. Bring in whatever, if you can get it there in a trailer, or in the trunk of your car, or in the back of your truck, we'll unload it for you and get you on your way. Almost anything with a cord or a battery can be brought to this event. There are a few items we're not taking. We're not taking alkaline batteries. We're not taking PCB ballasts. We're not taking thermometers, thermostats. Very few things we're not. So there are some charges for CRT monitors. The old style monitor, computer monitors are $5 a piece. Televisions up to and including 27 inches are $15 a piece. Over 27 inches are $35 a piece. Now these are the big old televisions with the tubes. Or the I lost the word, the projection televisions are also included in that with $35 consoles.
And very reasonable pricing, considering that, when you have a TV, whether it goes out or you just don't use it anymore, it's like, there it is. And it's heavy.
And they are heavy. And the reason for the cost on there is the CRTs are expensive to recycle.
Oh, I'm sure.
So they're recouping some of their prices on that.
Yeah, as they should. It's just, to me, it's a win-win for the community, and in addition to just making it look better, it's a great act in conservation. It's a good lesson for our children. Hey,
sure. This
is a very small way that you can help out, They may not be able to lift tires out of somebody's yard or, or gully or whatever, or pond, but they can pick up trash, they can rake. There's so many things people can do, all ages, and I'm just always impressed, and that's like my token phrase, but truly, of the way our community comes together and helps out, and it doesn't matter whether it's a fire, if it's, a tragedy like, this one, or if it's just people that just want to help. I just cannot say too many other communities that I've experienced that, and it's just such a delight. So I'm very excited to see your e-waste event. I'm going to bring my sweet little mama. So Jerry, get ready.
We'll stop and make sure you say hello.
I know. I'll be like, hello, this is Chris. You got to meet her. She's like famous. Oh my gosh. But it's a great opportunity to just, freely rid your stuff. And even if you have to pay for it, it's like so minor in price. So it's just a great opportunity for the community to get involved, help take better care of our community, and, if anything, by God, declutter that basement,
There you
Get
go.
those things out of there.
It's a good time of year to do that.
Yes. Do you personally submit stuff to the e-waste, or have you?
I usually have a few things that go in. I try to remember when during the year, set that aside because it's going to be coming up in May.
Well, because I bet your focus is different, because your aspect is a tad different in this involvement and putting this together than maybe, like finding the actual, am I?
And usually when my things get bad, they do get really bad because I don't replace them very often. So yeah, they're ready for recycled when I'm ready to get done.
They need a little love.
They need a little something.
Awesome. Well, Chris, you are always such a delight. I love when you come here, and truly, I know this is a really popular event in our community and a total asset. I cannot tell you enough how awesome it is to just see yourself coming here and being so dedicated and passionate about, hey, a few simple steps. Let's help beautify our community. Let's take care of our community. Let's be productive, proactive. Let's not just wait till there's a problem. Let's take action now, and that's nice to see you so involved and the city of Salina involved in making that happen. So you should definitely give yourself, I think, a double pat on the back.
Thank you.
Why mess with a single, right? But again, I say this all the time, but and you always take me up on it, which is awesome, but you must come back. I'm a little demanding, but you're pretty cool. We like you here. And you have great stuff to talk about. And again, do you have a future date, or is it a little too far out to tell us?
For next year?
Yes.
Yeah, that's too far.
Okay, that's okay
too
though.
Far. At this point, though, we are still planning that there will be another annual, and May, the first weekend works out good for us. So that would be the pretty much the time we're probably looking for, unless we have a hiccup with the company or.
And real quickly, and I apologize, you might have stated this earlier. If somebody wants to volunteer, what's the best route, the best number, the best way for them to get in contact with you or the organization?
We're really not using volunteers on these events. We had been doing that, and it was fluctuating because there's so many other things going on at the same time.
That is so true. I forget about that. Yes.
So what we have basically is we have some city employees who are just swapping some hours out.
Oh, cool.
And they're working it out of their other week to spend some time there and help out.
Awesome.
And then the MRC, Midwest Recycling Company, is bringing in some of their employees.
Very cool. So very, very smart. That's an awesome, awesome deal. Well, Chris, again, I just thank you so much for coming on the program. And again, if anybody has any questions, can they give you a call?
Yes, they can. The number is 826-6638. Email at hhw@salina.org.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on the program. And I know you'll be back, right?
Yes, we'll be back.
Very good. Well, thank you so much. And thank you so much for watching.